for legal analysis. We have the trial attorney Misty Marris here with me in our studio in Midtown Manhattan for the Inside Scoop at the courthouse. At Lower Manhattan, NewsNation's Laura Engel is also back with us. So we thought it was going to be like Dawn Richard, but I guess that's going to be next. When we start with you, Laura, but the special agent was called to the stand first after Cassie came down. So give us the update.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, we really thought it was going to be Dawn Richard. That was the word on the street yesterday and all morning. But you're right. We have this special agent that works in human trafficking for the Department of Homeland Security. So that's who's on now, probably who's going to be talking about the arrest, because this person was involved in the arrest of Sean Combs when he was taken into custody. But a very emotional day and a very busy day inside of the courthouse. Remember, yesterday we were talking about how long is Cassie Ventura going to be on the stand. The defense sounded like they wanted to keep her on the stand through Friday and possibly into Monday, but everything has wrapped up. A lot of time spent about the relationship. She broke down in tears when I was in the courthouse listening to testimony. She was asked by the prosecution on redirect about the physical abuse that came at the hands, she says, of Sean Combs during these sexcapades, these freak-offs, and she was asked, how did it make you feel? She said, I felt worthless, I felt like dirt, and she needed a minute to compose herself. And then when it was all over, she was excused. She got up, she put her hand on her very pregnant belly and left the courtroom and was escorted out. Now, I want to show you some video because Alex Fine, her husband, was seen leaving the courthouse. I chased after that scrum as he was getting into a car. I don't know if you have that video to play, trying to get a comment from him, but we did not get it. Here he comes with his security, walking in. There he is in black, being escorted into the back. Yeah, and off he goes. So they peeled out of here pretty quickly. And we also heard from Cassie's attorney, who gave dual statements at the front of the courthouse steps. I think you have some sound from him, if that's been fed in. But the attorney talking about these extremely challenging few days that she has been on the stand. And I think one of the most poignant things that she said in her statement, she said, for me, the more I can remember, and the more I can remember, the more I will never forget.
Yes.
So that was really powerful, talking about how she has been going through all of these text messages, all of these really explicit details of the freak-offs and the abuse and all of the physical violence that she has endured through her life, and talking about trauma therapy. So laying that groundwork as we get into sex trafficking. I know that Misty can speak to that as we move forward on the legal charges now, Connell.
Let me play that from Wigdor first, to your point. The statement, he was her attorney reading Cassie's statement. Let's play that again, and then we'll get Misty in on it.
For me, the more I heal, the more I can remember. And the more I can remember, the more I will never forget. I am glad to put this chapter of my life to rest. As I turn to focus on the conclusion of my pregnancy, I ask for privacy for me and for my growing family.
All right, so what do you think, Misty, in terms of what we've seen today overall? You can react to that, but also the strategy now of going, the special agent, I guess, is someone who went into his home and discovered what was in there and that kind of stuff. So they're trying to establish, they didn't go straight to the next witness that we thought they would go to.
Yeah, so this special agent is the one who orchestrated his arrest. If you remember, back when Diddy, all of this came out, he was indicted. His arrest was actually arranged between his defense team and the federal government. So they knew that where it was going to happen, he was turning himself in, essentially. And this happened at a hotel in New York. And so what this special agent is testifying about is what happened on that day when he was taken into custody. And some of what just came out right before we went to air, I'm reading the testimony, is that they're showing some exhibits of what was taken from the hotel room, and that included the ever illustrious, in this case, baby oil. We keep hearing it as a theme throughout the case. So we may learn if other items were also confiscated from the hotel, which could potentially become evidence of the case later on.
Okay, let me do a couple of things here. I want to give a few examples so we can finish our conversation about Cassie, about some of the things she said earlier. Laura, go back to you on this whole idea. They kept getting at this, I guess, the defense about, she quote-unquote cheated on Diddy. This example I have to put on the screen of an NFL player. They were trying to establish establish a lot of this. I don't know if I would call it cheating, she said at that point. You're not with someone, it's not cheating, we weren't married, but it was a clear defense strategy, Laura, that kept coming up over and over, it seemed.
Trying to illustrate the back and forth in this relationship, you know, that sometimes was very loving, sometimes was very abusive, that they each cheated on each other or that they were seeing other people. Remember, you know, we'd heard about burner phones that Cassie Ventura had been using when she was seeing someone else. And then she was also talking about, there was testimony. I mean, this was really dramatic. She was talking about when remember, she accused Sean Combs of raping her in 2018.
Yeah.
She says she went back to him to have one more, you know, she had one more encounter with him, and when she was with him again, her now husband, Alex Fine, FaceTimed her, and she denied that call while she was with Diddy, seeing him again after the alleged rape. So, I mean, this relationship is, I mean, you can't even call it complicated. It goes beyond that. So that they were really trying to describe a very chaotic relationship that these two had, and that is, in fact, what she called it as well. A fast-paced chaos is what she lived through. Also important to note today, Connell, was the money. She talked about receiving the $20 million settlement from Combs, and she said if she could do it all over again, in essence, and not do the freak-offs, she would give that money back. We also learned that the Intercontinental Hotel gave her $10 million. That is new. We learned that she received a $10 million settlement from the Intercontinental Hotel where that hallway abuse happened.
Right.
So that's new as well. But again, she would give it all back if she didn't have to do it, so she says.
You have a closing thought, Misty, on all this and what happens next, too?
Yeah, definitely. So there's a reason why the defense was so focused on what was called cheating, right? And it's not because we're trying to say she cheated in a relationship. It's to show that she had agency.
Right.
If she's engaging in other relationships, how much is she under his thumb? And the other aspect, because we know what the defense is saying, they're saying that this is a horrible, terrible relationship. It was fraught with domestic violence. It's bad. But it's not sex trafficking. It's simply a tumultuous relationship fueled by jealousy. And
But
that's
the
why we've heard so much about
prosecution
it.
will have a chance to build on Cassie. I know we keep saying star witness, but there's more to come. There's a long way to go here, in other words. We were talking about this last hour a bit.
Definitely. So a couple of things. So first, on redirect, you saw the prosecution very pointedly try and link the violence to the freak-off. So that's important. The freak-off is the element of commercial sex under the sex trafficking statute.
Right.
As well as Cassie laid the foundation. She identified some individuals who we presumably will be the co-conspirators. That will be the foundation for, these are the cast of characters we are going to see with respect to the RICO charge. And remember, Cassie's victim 1, according to the prosecution.
Yep.
We got victim 2, victim 3, or victim 2, victim 3 isn't coming, victim 4, and another prior bad acts victim that we expect who's being dubbed victim 5 at this point. So.
Okay. As always, Misty, thank you. On top of it, up to the minute, and Laura as well. Good stuff from the courthouse.